All right, so let's just settle into our meditation posture. What's happening here? Okay, yeah, there we go. And check your feet. I mean, if they are down on the ground, which for most of you, they probably are, just really try and feel that you're connecting with the earth through the soles of your feet. And if you're sitting in the cross-legged position, you can maybe put something underneath your sits bones and make sure you're slightly raised so you don't fall back onto your sacrum. So you want the sacrum, the pelvic bowl, to be upright, shoulders are aligned with the hips, and your ears aligned with your shoulders. And just imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And the head is slightly tipped forward. Just relax the jaw. And bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax your scalp and the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth. And relax the back of the tongue. And then go to the back of the head and release any tension in the back of the scalp there. And allow your ears and your inner ear, temples, jaw, back of the neck. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and the limbs, hands, fingers, and feet and toes. And bring the mind to the breath. And just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. With very subtle sensations, slightly cooler as you're inhaling, slightly warmer as you exhale. And then if there's any sounds in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. So try not to run off and investigate. Just very gently allow the sounds to fade into the background and bring your mind back to the breath, your focus. And then just notice what's arising in the mind this evening. Maybe there's a story or two there. Maybe you've been telling yourself a few things. And just notice what's arising and allow it. And then rather than judging, having opinions, going off with that story, take a step back, put some space in between those thoughts. Now let's just bring to mind all the people of our life. So your loved ones, the ones you find a little bit difficult for you. And then there's those people in your life who are just complete and utter strangers. We don't care, think about them terribly much. We don't really care. We're indifferent to these folks. Whereas the ones we love, we're always thinking about them. And we have these unbelievable ideas about how brilliant they all are. And the ones who we don't love, we think about, we try and stay away from them. We don't have very good opinions of them. They can, however, change place at any time. And then what happens to our opinions? They change. It's not very stable. And all these people are the same as you and me in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering. And they all have this amazing capacity for this enlightened mind. So I think we'll do this Vajrasattva practice this evening for all these people of our life and all sentient beings. So just keeping in mind there is no negativity that cannot be purified. So this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we're creating negativity with our mind so we can change it equally by creating positivity with our mind instead. And so we purify by applying the 4 opponent powers. And the first of these is regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And you can think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. So we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And so we know from present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret the anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech. And think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So we rely upon, and we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And we're not asking Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine, his methods. So you can imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And you can also imagine that this is your teacher manifesting in this form, in this aspect for your benefit. And he's made of brilliant, radiant, blissful white light. He's sitting cross-legged in the full Vajra position. And he's on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. Equally, he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart. The left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents a union of these two. And this is symbolizing enlightenment, and it's the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we have another part of reliance, which is compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us. So think particularly of someone you may have harmed recently or in the past. And then remember someone who's harmed you. And think that particularly to develop compassion towards them, because the harm they've caused you is going to manifest as harm for them in the future, suffering for them in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings and think I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the remedy, and this is the actual practice of doing the purification using mantra and nectar this time. So we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose quite forcefully, or a waterfall from his heart, And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with the body. So the next is a purification of the speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and useless speech and kind of careless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anorakta mebo sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Dida mebo sutokaya mebo sipokaya mebo. Anorakta mebo sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anorakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anorakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya satra a hum pe. So now feel so happy that your speech is completely purified. Excuse me. And imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And the next is a purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on the switch. That light instantly dispels the darkness. So just think it's the same here. The light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart chakra and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind. So any kind of depression or anger or violence or attachment, grasping, anxieties, neediness, insecurities, grudges, bitternesses, disappointments, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anorakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anorakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anorakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anorakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anorakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anorakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anorakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya satra a hum pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. And think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And you can imagine Vajrasattva now very happily sends light and nectar. It fills you completely, and it eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasedi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasitame Sutam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasedi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasitame Sutam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasedi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasitame Sutam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasedi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasitame Sutam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasedi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasedi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasedi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So to your enlightenment. So next is the power of resolve, and the fourth and final step in the purification process. And this is really crucial, this determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind. And so without this, we're going to keep doing the same old things over and over again because we're human. We have habits, and we have habits from past lives as well. So this determination, this aspiration to not harm, it's kind of like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So reflect on something that you are working on right now. Maybe also rejoice in your efforts, in your progress. And then just think about something you would like to continue to work on. So maybe something you're becoming aware of that you didn't know that might be harmful to yourself or others. Just remember this determination to not do something or to refrain from something. It's what gives us the strength to change. So we have to decide. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my guru's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. And so next, we meditate a little bit on the emptiness. So start with the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. They're just dependent arisings. You can also think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification practice to all those people of your life, to all sentient beings, to yourselves, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, O tup shu chang xin jam gon Galloway, Tenzing kyong pel away, kunzo dog porze, chog sum kur way leg mon to drub, pa dog sog dulje, kon du jab ten shog. For Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please live long. And for Geshe Shera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path. You are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Excuse me. All right, everybody. Lots of love. Good night. Sleep well. Sweet dreams. And I will see you tomorrow. Okay. And thank you for hosting